number 19. Um, yeah, we have 19 episodes now. So, how do you feel about that, George?
I feel good. We're not going anywhere. Just getting better and better with time, like a good bottle of wine.
Seriously, huh? But
Yeah.
one thing that I want to say before we begin is, like, if you guys are listening to Kumite Radio, I want to say that you guys need to go on to the YouTube, or if you're listening on Stitcher or SoundCloud or what else? iTunes. Like if you're on
Yeah.
iTunes, go to iTunes, subscribe, go to write a review. Even if it says, you guys fucking suck, it doesn't matter. Just go in there, write the fucking review, because that
Yeah.
helps no matter what. And then subscribe, and then go to YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Write a comment, anything, like
Just
the
do
video,
something.
dislike the video, whatever, right? Anything helps. We just like to hear, what you guys think. So if you guys want to go and do that, then please do that. So yeah, before we begin, I wanted to say that because we never
Thank
talked
you.
about that before.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you in advance, fans. Or people who hate us, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's not
just
even really
help us
fans,
out.
right? It's just like people that listen to us, because I think of it as not really fans. I just think of people that are just listening to us talk shit.
Yeah,
And
two guys just chatting shit.
exactly. And if you could get a laugh out of it, if you get some, good information or good insight from this, then, you benefited and we benefited from it. So, it is what
Word.
it is. So we're just going to keep going. And I know I say, a lot, so I don't give a fuck. Fuck you if you talk shit. But yes, go there and write shit like that. Comment shit like, hey, you guys say this too much, or you guys, are, pro UFC, or you guys are pro this, or you guys are anti this, or you guys, anything, you guys want to say,
Give us
write
some
it down,
feedback.
because I will, yeah, feedback, and I will read it. I will read everything. So please go there and write anything you want. It doesn't matter to me, except for some racist shit. All right, but maybe not.
Yeah. Hey, we
But
got love for everybody. We got love for everybody, all slang, everything.
exactly. So um, yeah. Look at the host. You got one, Asian dude, and then you got a white dude. So all
Who
we need
thinks
is a
he's
black
Asian
dude. All we need is like a black dude, and then we are
will
complete.
be set.
Exactly. So eventually, maybe in the future, we'll have a darker complexion person come along. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe, right?
We
But
got love for everyone.
exactly, for now, it's just us. But anyways, today there's a lot of stuff that we're gonna talk about. First, the past weekend. During the past weekend, there was like Shooto in Japan. There was Hex Fight Series in Australia. Bellator New York City happened. Also, on Sunday, UFC Fight Night in Oklahoma City. All those things happened. There's so much shit to talk about with that. And also this weekend, there's Full Metal Dojo. There's one championship in
Yep.
Myanmar. There's Pancrase 288. And the first Pro Fight League show is this weekend, I think on Friday. So there's a lot of stuff in the coming week. And there's a lot of stuff from this past weekend. So let's begin with this past weekend. The first thing that I want to talk about is Shooto, right? And Shooto in Japan, it happened in Osaka, Japan, right? So have you been to Osaka, George?
No, I haven't. I've been to Japan 3 or 4 times, and every time's been to Tokyo. But Osaka is definitely a place that I want to check out.
Oh, for sure, right? I've never been to Japan, so
Oh,
I
you're
want to
missing
go.
out, bro.
Yeah, I
Like
want to
Korea,
go
I
anywhere.
love Korea as well, but Japan is like it's Tokyo outside of Bangkok is my second favorite city. Um, but yeah, I feel like there's a lot of other places that I have friends like travel and stuff over there that are that are really awesome. So um, yeah, hopefully I can check Osaka out.
Yeah, the highlights from Shooto, which you can watch on UFC Fight Pass. Now, with UFC Fight Pass, do you have UFC Fight Pass, George?
Yeah, I do.
Me too, man. It is a good investment to buy. just buy the whole year, right? Because you get a
Yeah, that's what
discount
I
or whatever.
do.
And UFC Fight Pass is not a fucking sponsor or nothing like that. We're not a fucking UFC Shields or anything. But if you get UFC Fight Pass, it's so convenient to watch anything. UFC, Shooto, Pancrase. There's so much shit. Cage Warriors.
I'm
Um,
on it now. Does it have like does it have the highlight somewhere?
oh, they have all the fights for Shooto on there. So if you
Okay.
go to the
What was
event,
it? Shooto what?
Shooto in Osaka.
I know, but like, did it have a Shooto number or what?
No, it didn't have a number. It's just called Shooto in Osaka.
All right,
But
I'll see if I can.
the main highlights from that card, if you want to go back and watch that card, is there was a flying knee knockout, which was actually the co-main event, which Jin Io against Takafumi Nakayama. And the
Oh,
crazy
really?
thing is Jin Io only had 5 fights. He was undefeated, only had 5 fights, and he was taking on a guy that was 19-16 and
Yeah,
knocked
that's
him out with
pretty.
a flying knee. So if you guys go back, watch that fight. It's pretty crazy. Another fight that's pretty crazy was, which was a big mismatch. Well, that one was a mismatch, but it ended up good for the underdog. But another big mismatch was the fight before that, which was it Yoshihiro Madea, who was 35-15 record
That is
flyweight.
so
Like,
many
yeah,
fights.
he knocked out this young Korean kid named Youngwon Kim, which he only had one professional fight. So that was kind of a weird matchup,
Yeah,
in
those are
my opinion.
definitely like, I don't know, maybe it's a Japanese MMA thing. Like, I don't know, but that's definitely like, if I was guiding a fighter, I would not want to say, I would not take that fight.
Exactly. But, sometimes, you get the call and then a lot of other places are not giving you any fights. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
you gotta take what you can get, because there's so many fighters now, especially young fighters, to where it's like, you if you think you're the shit, you might as well just go fight anybody and at any time,
Right.
anywhere, man. Or you might not get any fights. It all depends, right? It all depends who's guiding your career. It all depends what kind of connections you have. You know better than
Right.
anybody, George, right? You need
Oh yeah.
connections to get fights, right?
Yeah. Especially now, man. Like MMA, there's so many fighters. Everyone wants to do MMA, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was 6 or 7 years ago. It's hard to get fights, and it helps a lot, you know, if you have like a good connection group of people to help you, whether it's friends or coaches and management, stuff like that. Like, I've made a lot of connections. Like, I knew like a couple of promoters in the States, but they were just like locally. But obviously living in Thailand, I've traveled quite a bit for, you know, fighting and cornering people, and definitely made a lot of connections and people coming through the gym. So I find now that like I have a lot more connections, like, to help people get fights as well.
Well, I think it also helps if you go and, train at other gyms and
Yeah. Oh,
meet
yeah, for sure.
as many people as you can, so you can get the word out that you're a fighter. And if you train hard and you show something in training, people will start talking about you even through those channels, like, hey,
Yeah.
the guy over here, he might be, pretty decent fighter. Maybe that will kind of help you to get a fight somewhere, somehow. Who knows, right? But yeah, there's so many fighters now. Like, it's hard to keep track of. It's almost like, let's say it's almost like college football or college anything, right? There's so many
Right.
athletes to where you can't keep track of everybody except for the big
Yeah.
guys, for the top guys,
Right.
right? That's why most of the fans only follow the major promotions, because they
Yep.
don't have time to go through all that, right? So anyways, yeah. Yeah, so if you guys gonna go watch that Shooto, on UFC Fight Pass, those are the 2 fights you guys should probably watch. Even though they were big mismatches, one of them was the underdog taking out the more experienced guy, and the other one was the more experienced guy showing why it's better to
He's the
be more
ball.
experienced, right? With the
Yeah.
both of them are knockouts. Another fight that happened over the weekend was in Melbourne, Australia, right? And Australia has a growing MMA scene, just like New Zealand. And Hex Fight Series is one of those promotions in Australia that are putting on very good shows, bringing in talent from outside of Australia, and putting on decent cards, right? So
Yeah, I think
yeah.
they're man, they're definitely getting a good reputation. Like I think they've been around for a while. I don't know that much about them. I have a lot of friends that have fought there and do fight there. Um, but there's definitely like bigger name people like on the local markets getting on those shows and stuff like that. And um, they're easy to watch online as well. So it's definitely a good promotion. I've had a lot of friends that have come through Tiger that have fought for that show.
Did you meet the I don't know, is he the president, or his name is Trent? Have you met Trent?
I believe so.
He
I'm
kind
not
of runs.
100% sure, but I think so.
Yeah, he kind of runs Hex Fight Series. I met him one time. Very nice guy, right? And I think he's very open to like bringing people in and like sending people out and like working with other promotions and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
they have a good mindset, it seems like, to where they're gonna be able to grow. But Australia has so many fighters, man,
Yeah.
and they're good fighters too. It's not like
Yeah, they've
they're
improved a lot, man. They've like even like in wrestling and stuff like the Australian fighters have really come on strong as of recent.
yeah. And another thing is Australian top team. They're
Yeah.
they are growing, man. They just recently, what's his name? Ashkan Mokhtarian. He got signed to the UFC. He lost, but
Yeah.
man, for your first fight, you're fighting a guy in the top 10.
That good. Yeah, that guy
That
was good.
good.
Really
Yeah.
good.
It's a hard thing to do, man. And
Yeah.
he fought hard, man. It's not like he gave up. So yeah, and then you got the girl 187. I think her name is Nia. There's her name Nia Kasim or something like that. I'm not for sure, man. I fucking suck with names. But yeah, she was supposed to fight in New Zealand, but she got injured. But she signed to the UFC also. She actually took the position. She actually got injured, and Cham Mi Jun, the Korean
Yeah,
girl,
yeah.
she took her spot, right, and fought the other chick. But anyways, on this card, you had like Trent Girdham, who is a very young up and coming bantamweight, and he's undefeated. He won by unanimous decision. You have oh yeah, you had Suman. You guys, you've I think Trent and Suman, yeah, Trent Girdham and
Yeah.
Suman have been down at Tiger, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To
Yep,
train.
all of them.
Yeah,
We
so
have the Australian top team guys come a lot. So yeah, I got to work with the one brother before his fight in the UFC, and I worked with a lot of them on wrestling while they were here. So they're a good group of dudes, and they're all very, very talented.
yeah, Suman, he pulled off the first ever TP choke in MMA
Yeah, I saw
history.
that. Yeah, I
That
saw
is
that.
crazy, man.
Yeah,
That is crazy to be someone like he just wrote himself into the MMA history books
right. As
by
the first person ever, man.
I know, by being the first person ever to pull off a TP choke, which is a choke that even it's hard to do in just like grappling in general,
Right.
right? And he pulled it off in the first round
Of a
over
fight.
and stays undefeated too, right? And he hasn't
Yeah.
fought in a long time. I think, yeah, he hasn't fought in a long
Yeah.
time from what I remember. So shout outs to Suman, man. He did his thing out there. And the video is going viral. You've seen it on like
Right.
bj10.com and like all these like jiu-jitsu pages, like sites. Like he's getting a lot of hits. So
Oh
that's good
yeah.
for him, man, and Australian top team and just Australian MMA in general. Yeah, this card had a lot of like knockouts. Another thing is JJ Ambrose was on this card, who is
Oh, I
the
didn't even know that.
yeah, he's who is the PXC lightweight champion right now. And I think because he won, I'm
He
not
got
for
into
sure.
Bellator.
Yeah, he just recently got signed to Bellator. So shout out to JJ, man. He's been doing his thing out in this part of the world
For a
for a
long
long
time.
time. And he's a guy that started in the States too and fought in Bellator
I
before.
think before, right?
Yeah, he was in Bellator before, and then he came out here and did his thing over here, and now he's back in Bellator. I don't know exactly the terms of his contract, but I think we will have JJ Ambrose on the podcast in the future, so he'll probably break down everything for everybody when he's on the podcast. So, yeah, shout outs to JJ. He's doing his thing over there in Guam. I think his gym, Steel Athletics, because his nickname is Superman, so his gym is called Steel Athletics. So it kind of fits well, right? And they have a good team out there with Spike 22. Have you fought with those Spike 22 guys?
No, not too much, but I've heard a lot about them.
Yeah, there are a lot of good dudes coming out, a lot of UFC guys. So, yeah. And the main event of that was the light heavyweight the light heavyweight belt was on the line, and Jim Crute, he pulled it off, stays undefeated with the arm triangle choke in the first round. So a lot of dominant fights, a lot of finishes. If you guys could go back and watch these fights, I think you could watch them online pretty easy. You can find them. I recommend you guys go back and watch this card because it's pretty damn good. Now, let's move on to Bellator. Okay, so in Bellator, you had what did you think about the card in Bellator?
I thought it was after it was bizarre. I think a lot of people wrote that, but it was I enjoyed it from my audio version of what was going on. But I've watched some of the fights, watched them since then, and I think it was good. It was definitely a bizarre night of MMA.
Well, Chael Sonnen, he did what Chael Sonnen does.
Yeah.
He talks his shit. He goes out there. He does his little wrestles, right? He does his little ground and pounds, and he gets into a little bit of danger, but he pulls through, right? And Vanderlei, seems like Vanderlei only trained the guillotine. Like he just had people shoot for takedowns, and he just tried to grab the guillotine on them, right. And that's what he seemed like he trained, because he could not get up. He could not.
And having a good wrestler like Chael Sonnen on top of you is not easy to get up. Like, it's even if you have really high level jiu-jitsu, if a good wrestler that knows MMA, that's his game, is not just a striker, but really keeps people down, then it's hard to get them off of you.
Yeah, and I thought that should not be the main event, though. You know what I mean? Because you knew.
I think fan should have been Douglas Lima and Larkin.
Exactly. You knew as a fan, that should have been maybe the first fight of the night. Of course, there are two guys. They're veterans. To be honest with you, Silva is a legend.
Oh, yeah.
Sonnen is not.
Yeah, Silva is definitely a legend.
Silva is a legend. Sonnen is not.
They've just kept themselves relevant. Sonnen is the king of talking shit, but I like watching him fight. Obviously, I like watching. Well, I did like watching Vanderlei fight as well, but yeah. Yeah,
Vanderlei, if you go back into the history of MMA, Vanderlei is one of those guys that had his period where he was just the biggest star.
Huge. Remember when he first came into the UFC? He was huge.
Yeah. Even before that, in Pride, he was fucking demolishing.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was killing people in Pride, and then it was this big thing when he came to the UFC and stuff.
And then everybody's like, "Hey, how is he gonna do without steroids?" You know what I mean? Yeah. And it didn't work out too well for Silva. I think it's just a combination of things that happened to where he didn't last very long. But yeah, Chael, I think he's gonna fight again. To be honest with you, I think they're gonna make him fight maybe Fedor. Yeah, he's calling out Fedor, and Fedor's Fedor, right? If he fights again, he'll probably fight Sonnen. And I don't know. I think who would you take in that fight?
Fedor.
I think I would take Fedor too, because I think Fedor can get back up.
Yeah, I think he could get back up, and he's obviously got really good submissions, and he's obviously a lot better striking than Chael.
And I thought, what I thought originally? I thought originally that Chael should have been fighting Fedor, not Silva.
Yeah.
because I think that
But
would
I
be a
feel
better
like,
challenge.
yeah, I think so too. But like all the like build up between him and Silva in the past, like they weren't going to let that go.
For real. But yeah, that that fight was interesting because there was some build up, but the actual fight was just like you knew what was gonna
Yeah.
happen, so it wasn't
Right.
like something important. What about the motherfucking double almost knockout?
Yeah, that was
That was
crazy.
fucking crazy. Like you didn't hear it, or you heard it,
Yeah, but
or
I watched the like
you
replay
watched
and
it.
it's crazy. Like they're swinging and boom, they both hit
Yeah,
and fall down, and old mate just happened to get up quicker and be okay faster.
yeah. I think he hit him a little bit more solid too. Fedor
Yeah,
got
I
hit a
think
little bit
so.
more
Yeah,
solid, and he was getting up, but he was like kind of out of it a little bit.
right.
But Mitrione, he got hit and he got knocked down, but it was kind of like a flash where he like was right back up, and yeah,
Yeah,
he just pounded him out. Fedor, man, he's like new fans will think like Fedor, who the fuck is Fedor, man? What the fuck is this old ass man out there doing with this fucking like his dad bod looking like a fucking plumber and shit, right? Doesn't
yeah,
speak
but
any
that,
English.
yeah,
No,
but
like new fans wouldn't. You could
I'm sure
tell.
they know. They got to be educated a little bit.
I
Like
don't know.
he's such a legend,
I know, but
the last emperor.
we know that, right? Because we know we're in it. But I think newer generation of fans, they don't want to go back and watch those old, Pride days, like those types of things. I don't even think they go back. But if you have UFC Fight Pass, you can go back and watch that shit, all of it, right?
Right.
It's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. But
Yeah, that fight.
this is another fight you knew what was gonna happen. Like I knew
Yeah.
Mitrione was gonna knock him out.
Man, I thought Fedor. I had faith in Fedor. I gotta admit,
Of
but
course, because you're still hanging on. You're like
could
hanging on
be,
like by a thread to
could
Fedor's,
be
his cape and shit,
his
right?
legacy.
Yeah, his legacy, right? But let's talk about legacy though. Like there's Silva, there's Fedor. A lot of people saying like, hey, these guys are tarnishing their legacy, right?
Yeah.
I believe,
I gotta say, go ahead.
okay, before you speak, I believe that their legacy is not right now. Their legacy was when they were at their
Yeah,
peak back in the
I
day.
agree with that.
And that's what you should remember them for. You should not be remembering them for what they're doing right now because that's not who
You
they are.
have to.
Yeah.
It's just like Silva, like Anderson Silva, bro. Like he was my favorite fighter. Like I used to love him, but now it's just like I don't even want to see him fight anymore. Like he's still good, but it's not the same, you know. Like so, you remember him for how many like titles he won and how many defenses and stuff like that. Like the same with like Fedor and Silva and the other Silva. Like if it was me, I would think that I probably wouldn't fight, or I would think that I wouldn't need to fight at that point. But as a fighter, also or a competitor, like it's always in you. You always think, hey, I still got it in me. Or I got one more. I got, whatever. Because you're a competitor, it's like something that your whole life that you have. But I don't think I would fight. But yeah, I agree with you. Their legacy is already cemented.
Yeah.
So
Like not wanting them to fight or not wanting to watch them fight, but also at the same time wanting to watch them fight. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you have a feeling like, oh man, they shouldn't fight. But then if they're fighting, you're gonna watch them anyways because you're kind of like rooting for them to kind of show a little bit of what they were when
right.
they had their
That's
peak.
why I
When they
thought.
had, yeah,
Yeah, that's why I went with Fedor. Why I thought he was gonna fight, just because like his explosive hands and how good he was.
yeah. Just you're waiting for that, right? But that moment
Yeah,
probably will never come. And
yeah,
that's
it's
what's
over.
fucked up about watching like these legends that are coming that are still fighting. And we're gonna get to another legend, BJ Penn, later on, because he just fought too, right? But we'll get to
Yeah,
that. Let's keep flowing with Bellator. Now, Michael Chandler, man. Michael motherfucking Chandler. Hey, Michael Chandler, one of the best in the world. Like pound for pound, I believe, in the world.
I agree with that. I agree with that statement for
And
sure.
he just got fucked with some freak ass injury. Did you see that?
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't even a broken foot though, or whatever. Wasn't it something else?
It was an ankle. I think.
Yeah, but I think it was like it wasn't even. I don't know. Maybe my brother was wrong, but that's. I didn't like read the article, but he said he saw something online where it was like not an actual break, but something where it just gives out, or I don't know. I don't know, but I'm gonna maybe I'll look at it right now.
Well, the thing is with Michael Chandler, like there's some like controversy with this. The reason why there's controversy is because Chandler, you know, if the referee, right, if they stop the fight to check an injury, you're not
It has to
supposed to do
stop.
that. You're not supposed to check the fight or stop the fight
Right.
to check an injury. If you stop the fight to check an injury, the fight is over automatically. So basically what
Yeah.
happened was the ref, he stopped the fight to check the injury, and then the refs came or the doctors came in and said, "Hey, his foot is
Right.
his
Right.
foot or ankle is fucked up or whatever, and it's over." If you're Primus, right, you have to fight him again.
Yeah. Like he celebrated the win, which I mean I would be happy I won because that's a win bonus. But but nah, I would feel like it's not it's not right.
But do you think that, yeah, because it's not like he really caused the injury. It's not like he kicked him in his ankle and broke his ankle, right? It's just like
Right.
he stepped back. Because if you watch the slow motion, he
Yeah,
just
he
steps back.
stepped back and it just that was like something happened to it.
Yeah, it was weird, right? And imagine how Michael Chandler feels right now, man. Like he
Oh
fucking
yeah,
trained so fucking hard for that fight. And he goes out there and fucking twists his
and
ankle
that happens.
all the time, man. Remember when Patrick Cote was fighting Anderson
Yeah,
Silva?
Silva. Yeah, yes,
And then his knee just popped out like like right when he started one of the rounds.
it was terrible.
It's fucked up, man. And
I
Primus,
can't find anything on it.
yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. They were saying like it was something in the middle of the foot. Something
Yeah.
happened in the middle of the foot or something, but they don't know for sure. But from like I read some other stuff too, like it was an ankle injury, and they're considering it a doctor stoppage, TKO. That's
Oh
what the
yeah.
final result was. So yeah, it's dude, this card had everything, man. Like it had
Yeah.
like weird fight, a fucking title exchange hands, you know, like double knockdown to a fucking knockout. You
Right.
had fucking Chael doing the wrestle and tackle and shit. And then and then you had fucking hey Aaron Pico, man. I know
Oh,
you're a
that's
wrestling
nuts,
motherfucker.
man. Yeah, of
Pico
course. I
was
would.
like,
I wanted him to win, but it's my brother and I were speaking about it, man. That's a lot for your first fight. Like I don't care. Like if you like, he did have a lot of boxing fights, I think, right?
I don't know.
Like amateur, whatever. He was supposed to be a really good boxer, and I'm sure he is. Like I'm sure he's got good hands, and he's going to be a great prospect. And I hope he bounces back, and does great. And I think he will. Um, but that's like, not only is it your first MMA fight, it's your first MMA fight in Madison Square Garden on Bellator's pay-per-view on the main card. Like that's a lot of pressure, and I'm sure he can deal with the pressure because he's wrestled at the highest level. But outside of that, that's just like how many fights did that guy have?
The Freeman, the winner, the one that he
Yeah,
fought. Yeah, he had
yeah,
10.
yeah, man. That's a lot of experience. Um, just like we were saying earlier about the guys on the Shooto card, like that's a lot of experience difference, and so there's a lot of things stacked against them. But man, I'm sure he'll be back stronger.
But Bellator hyped him up, man.
Yeah,
Like they
well,
had a
as they
lot of
should. Like he
fucking
was like
hype.
a phenom.
I know, but he didn't have no fights, man. None.
Yeah, did they gas DC up that much?
No, they did not, man.
Because
They
he's
they
like,
he fought other places. He fought other like I didn't
okay,
think DC fought like directly. He didn't start with Strikeforce. He fought
maybe he didn't, maybe he didn't.
yeah.
But yeah,
But they fucking gassed him up hard, man. Like even the like since Bellator was pumping him up, even the media was pumping him up. And of course he
oh
was
yeah,
a fucking beast in wrestling. He has boxing. But man, like you said, MMA is not boxing. MMA
different. It's
is
not
not
boxing.
wrestling.
No,
It's fucking everything together. And when you get into
yeah,
that cage, You have to mix everything together. And I think Aaron Pico, he should have fought somebody.
Like 2-0 maybe.
Exactly. Why would you put him against Freeman? And Freeman's fucking huge.
Yeah.
When they were standing next to each other, dude, Freeman looked like a 185er.
Yeah.
And they were fighting at lightweight. And I don't think Aaron Pico was cutting much weight either. It didn't seem like.
Probably not.
Yeah. So, it's not the end of the world for Aaron Pico, but
Nah, man, like I said, I think he'll bounce back and he'll be good. He'll end up being like panning out like they thought he would. But when you get into exchanges like that, man, that can happen,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they went in. They first exchange. It was like whap. They were throwing hard too, man. Like when you saw them throw those fucking hands, I was like, damn. And then boom, he got caught, and he got choked out too. Because you remember when he let go of that choke, he was.
Hey, I've been choked out. I know firsthand.
And we're gonna talk about the choke out too in a bit. In the next, the next thing. But anyways, before that, Douglas Lima. Yeah, I thought Lorenz Larkin, in that fight, I thought Lorenz Larkin, his striking, if he stayed off the ground, his striking was crisp enough and a little bit more diverse to be able to take out Douglas Lima. But Douglas Lima just made me like a fan of his now. Like he came out and he just beast mode his ass. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like fuck.
Bro, he is Douglas Lima,
motherfucker.
Yeah, man, for sure. I've known that for a long time. He's one of my former training partners. Like I talked to him after his fight. We were texting and stuff. But man, Douglas is he is a beast. Like his original stand-up coach was my old coach, Manu Into, who's like used to fight in Lumpini. He's like beast Muay Thai. He doesn't train Douglas anymore, but man, like Douglas is a beast. Like he was one of my main training partners back in the States in Atlanta. And his stand-up is insane. It's like real Muay Thai style too. And he's not afraid to like stand there and throw in the pocket, but he's a crafty fighter too. Like he knows what he's good at and he knows how to use it. And
man, he showed he got that. Yeah. He got that thunder.
He does have that thunder. Look at the guy's highlight reel. It's ridiculous.
And I don't even remember when the last time Lorenz Larkin got like put on his ass like that.
Right.
I don't even remember because I don't think it.
Man, he's a really good striker too.
Oh, diverse like a motherfucker, man, with the karate kicks and everything, right? Yeah. And he has power. It's not like he doesn't have.
For sure.
But
he's very
Lima does have more power than him. I knew that before the fight. And Lima just showed you, hey, bring all those motherfucking UFC top 10, whatever the fuck, dudes over to Bellator. He's going to knock them down one by one. So the next fight, which is going to be against Rory McDonald. If he beats Rory McDonald,
bro, he's cemented.
He cemented himself as pound for pound one of the best dudes out there.
Yeah, bro. And I believe he can do it. Like Rory's not going to be no easy task for sure because he is one tough dude.
And I think I would take
a good skill set.
I would take Lima on that fight. The reason why is because
I'm definitely going with him.
Yeah, Lima has that kind of like Robbie Lawler style in a way.
Yeah.
But then he could go to the ground too, right?
Yeah, he's good on the ground. He's good on the ground. He's got good stand up. He's crafty. He knows like he can change things. And the thing about him, man, is people don't know. Like they haven't seen. Like hell, I don't even know if Douglas was 100% in that fight. Like, but man, he's had a lot of health issues, and like injuries and stuff over over his whole career in Bellator. And whenever he like wasn't fighting good, it's because of an injury. Like, when he lost the title and stuff. Like, man, Douglas is really, really good. If we see a healthy Douglas, his next fight, I think he's winning that too.
Yeah, he made me a fan. Like, I knew he was good, and I knew he was good when he fucking destroyed Korshkov. When he fucked Korshkov up like that, I was like, holy shit. Like, that opened my eyes to, like, Lima. Like, holy shit.
He's very good, man.
When I watched that fight, I was like, fuck. Because Korshkov fucking destroyed Benson Henderson. Like, destroyed him. Like, he didn't finish him, but he fucking just outclassed him like it was easy.
Yeah, whooped him.
Yeah. So, Lima, he's to me in Bellator, he's one of the guys that you need to watch. And he's a guy that is up there with like the Tyrone Woodleys and all that stuff into welterweight division. Yeah,
For
you gotta.
sure.
So whenever next time they fight, of course, it's probably gonna be Rory McDonald, and that's gonna be
Yeah.
fucking. I
And
think
shout outs to
that's
his
a fucking,
brother Diego Lima, who's currently on the Ultimate Fighter show as well.
for real. He's doing some things too. You watched Ultimate Fighter?
Not really. I watch his fights whenever they are.
Yeah, he's won every fight. So he's like, I think next week he fights again to see if he moves up. But you might have some
Oh,
inside information that you cannot talk about because it's like contracts and shit, right? Because that's that the
yeah, I'm
Ultimate
gonna have to
Fighter.
watch to see how
Yeah,
it goes.
yeah. But you know what was the most disappointing fight was the
Who?
Ryan Bader Phil Davis fight.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet, but were they like? Was it a decision? I don't even remember how they
Split
won.
decision, and Bader for some fucking reason
Was it an
Phil
ugly split
Davis
decision?
cannot beat Ryan Bader, man. Because
Yeah,
this is the second time they fought,
yeah.
and Ryan Bader beat him last time too. Like Phil Davis destroys everybody else, but when he faces Ryan Bader for some reason, he can't beat him. I was
They
surprised.
need to run it
Man.
back. Get a third fight.
They
Third
do,
time's a charm.
but I don't know, man. I was thinking Phil Davis was much better than he was when he fought him last time, to where he could probably finish him, right, or at least get a like a dominant decision.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. Ryan Bader got his shit. But also two other fighters. James Gallagher. James Gallagher, undefeated dude from
Yeah, the Irish guy.
SPG, the Irish dude that trains
Yeah.
with for SPG. Yeah, he came in, man, and against Chinzo Machida, who's Lyoto Machida's older brother,
Yeah.
who has been knocking out fools with like flying knees and shit, right? And James Gallagher came in and just choked him out like easy. Like Damian Maya came in and just choked somebody out. That's how easy
I'll
he
have to
choked.
watch that fight then.
Yeah,
'Cause
you do need
I
it.
read
Yeah.
about it and stuff, but I haven't watched it, so I'll watch that fight.
Watch that fight. That was a good fight. That I never seen this dude fight until this one, and I've heard about what he does, but he just proved to me like, hey, this dude is legit, because he stood there with Machida, and then when he got his chance, he took him to the ground and just fucking choked him out with ease, like easy. Like Machida's a black belt on the ground, and he just got his back, took it, and just fucking fucked his ass up. It was pretty
Wow.
crazy. And then that pro boxer girl, Heather Hardy, she made her debut. And yeah, she fucking knocked out the other girl standing. So those are some fights you should probably go back and watch from the prelims.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Yeah. Now let's move on to UFC Fight Night 112. Michael Chiesa versus Kevin Lee. Now we get into some controversy over here, right? Which is Mario Yamasaki. This guy.
Yeah.
this guy, he's like this and shit, throwing up the hearts and shit, right? And
Yeah, I heard it was for his kid.
oh, is it for his kid? Okay,
I
whatever.
don't know that. Somebody told me that.
Well,
So if that was for his kid, keep throwing it up, Yamasaki.
Yeah, well, but it doesn't matter what he does with the heart. It's just it's something that he does, right? But man, Mario Yamasaki, he's been criticized before for letting the fight go too long when someone's getting their ass whooped, right? And I think
maybe he got shook.
Yeah, and all of that criticism probably was in the back of his head for this fight. And then when it was time to fucking make a decision, he made the wrong decision, which is which is fucking stop the fight early. So what do you think? You think Chiesa was out?
I watched another video today. It kind of did, in my opinion. It looked like he was like maybe limp, but not really. Like, when a guy's limp, like the ref will like pick his arm or his leg up and it just falls back over. So I think he should have let it go longer. But maybe he was about to go out. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't 2 feet away and didn't see what he saw. So, well, if he didn't tap,
popped
man,
up right away.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my thing. Like, if the dude wants to go out, let him go out.
But he popped up right away, and he's all like, "What the fuck?" Like.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that. Like I said that when I saw the video today, it did look like for a second maybe that he went limp, but like, man, he should have been like grabbing his limbs or like saying, "Let me, like, can you, show me a finger or something." Because it's not like he's like getting like his head beat on. He
Yeah.
just got choked out.
Yeah, I agree with you. For a second, his arms drop, and it looks like he kind of does that dog fucking like that limpy dog
Yeah.
thing, right? It does, and that's when Mario Yamasaki went in there and stopped the fight, correct?
Right.
But then, like you said, he should have grabbed his arm, raised it up to
Yeah,
double
or
check.
like said, like, show me something that you're okay.
Exactly, and he didn't do that. Why? Because that motherfucker was shook, right?
Yeah.
Shook ones. Shout out to RIP Prodigy. He just
Yeah,
died.
Prodigy.
That's fucked up, man. Like
The
like
Mob.
my Mob Deep is like
Yeah, I was playing Mob Deep all day the last 2 days.
fuck, man. Like that's like childhood fucking hip hop. Like old, like to new kids, that's old school shit, right? But
Yeah, that's
for
good
me,
shit.
it's like I still listen to it, and it's like 15, 20 years old, and he
Yeah,
just
you got
died.
good selection and jams.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking nuts, man. Like the people that are dying, man. That means you're
Yeah,
just getting older and shit.
that's depressing.
It is. But then you don't think about it anymore after. You forget that he's dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all good. You just still listen to the music, man. He's in his he's embedded in history because you can listen to his music anytime you want. Just like
Yep.
just like what we're doing right here. It's like we put it on the
It's in
internet. Like
history.
you could just go back and fucking watch how fucking idiotic we were when we were talking and shit. So it's all good.
Kumite Radio 19.
For real. Um, yeah, Yamasaki, man. I think he's like the new Mazzagatti.
Yeah.
You know, remember Mazzagatti?
Oh, Steve.
Steve Mazzagatti? You don't see him anymore. You haven't seen him for a long ass time. The reason why he's fucked up too many times, and this is what happened. And you know, the UFC has some power, dude. To
Yeah.
kind of, you know, ban some guys from working certain jobs. And yeah, I think Yamasaki, you're probably not gonna see him again, especially for a UFC event, because you don't see Mazzagatti anymore,
Yeah.
right? And it's kind of fucked up, you know, because I think like the criticism, because of like online, the internet and shit like that, you hear the criticism more. A long time
Yeah.
ago, you only heard the criticism maybe on TV or in the newspaper
Yeah.
and a
But now it's
magazine or
everywhere.
something. Yeah, now it's everywhere. Like you could just people are coming up to you like they don't even know who the fuck you are and shit, and be like, "You if he die, you see the memes? If he die, he dies."
Yeah. So ridiculous with technology nowadays.
Like people throw up memes like so fast. Like if he dies, that was his nickname. If he dies, he dies. And then now after this fight, it's a new one. If he lives, he lives. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was fucked up. Oh yeah, moving on. What about Justine Kish? Did you see that she shit on herself?
Yeah, it got shitty. Hey, shout outs to her. She took it like a champ.
Dude,
Like
she
I
got
read that.
choke. Did
Yeah.
you see that
What?
choke was deep? And
Yeah.
she got out of that shit, man. Like that was yeah.
But you know what? Like I remember, when I got choked unconscious, I remember before the fight I had to go to the bathroom, and literally I went out. The first thing I saw was my cornerman Woody, and I was like, "Did I shit myself?" And he's like, he just laughed and he's like, "Nah, mate, you're all right." And it was like it sucked that I lost, but like it almost made me laugh that he said that. But yeah, like it's man, like it can happen. It did happen. So it did. But you know what? Like I read that she like tweeted something like something funny or whatever.
Yeah, she
So
said
she's like,
hashtag shit happens.
yeah, because it can happen to any of us. Like you don't have clearly if she had control of it, it wouldn't have happened. So it is what it is.
Yeah, she's tough, man, because she was undefeated before this fight.
Yeah.
So this is her first loss, and her first loss is going to be it's a shitty situation for her, man. Her
It's a
first
real
loss.
shitty situation because I'm sure that nickname is going to be tagged onto her for quite a while.
For
But
real, like anywhere you go and shit. Like imagine how it smelt in the fucking cage.
I mean, I wasn't trying to imagine all that, John.
Yeah, man. Just imagine that. For the listeners, imagine the smell of the cage, man.
And the ref stepped in it. I think I saw it on a video.
And who had to go in there and clean that shit? I feel bad for that motherfucker.
It was a
Somebody from the
shitty
athletic-
situation all around.
For real. Um, Yeah, another thing is Johnny Hendricks, man. Did you see Johnny Hendricks? He looked like a fat piece of shit. For
Bro,
real. Let's keep the shitty situation continuing. He
that
looked
is
like
a
a
shitty
fat piece
situation.
of shit. Like, what's
How do you how do you move up that much weight and then still miss weight?
I don't know.
Like, especially it's like it makes me angry because he's a wrestler. Like, dude's cut weight his whole life. Like for fighting, like yeah, he's getting older and his body's changing, but for like fighting, it's like, man, you make weight. Like you just can't let yourself like balloon up out of control, you know? Like, but it's you got like in wrestling, you make weight and then you wrestle an hour, 2 hours max later. So you only have that amount of time to like rehydrate. In a fight, you get hell now over 24 hours, you know?
Yeah.
So it's yeah, I don't know.
That
It's
goes
kind of
back to my theory that I have about Johnny Hendricks, because I was a fan of Johnny Hendricks when he was like going through and clean,
smashing
just fucking
everybody.
smashing motherfuckers, right? And my theory was when he like after USADA came in, because if you notice after USADA came in, that's when his decline started happening. And my theory is like, I don't know if he was using steroids, but he was probably using things to help him
Cut
cut
weight
weight.
and stuff.
You know, like because think about it, he's been wrestling because I've seen some like documentary about Johnny Hendricks. So he's
Yeah.
been wrestling since he was like 4 years old or some shit like that.
Yeah, man.
4 fucking years old, man. That's like you've been an athlete your whole fucking life, and
Yeah,
you've
I
been
started
cutting
wrestling when
weight.
I was 5.
Yeah, and you think about when did he start cutting weight? Probably middle school, maybe.
Yeah, I would say middle school.
Yeah, middle school,
Probably
right?
like middle school is the first time that I really cut weight. It wasn't a lot, but still, when you're a kid, like every pound is a lot, you know.
Yeah, and he
And then
was
like,
in middle school, probably cutting weight, right? And I'm pretty sure Johnny Hendricks, he liked to get big. He probably likes to eat, and it's probably never
yeah,
been. He's probably always been like that. So
yeah,
he's been cutting weight that way for a long time, and I think that and also things that helped him cut weight, he wasn't able to use those things anymore, and that affected his but his eating habits never changed, so that affected his weight cuts. And even now, like you said, he moves up weight and he can't make weight. That makes no fucking
man,
sense.
that's 15 pounds heavier of a weight class than what it was. That's
and he was
insane.
and he was saying in an interview like, oh, I wish the UFC would make a 175-pound division. It's like,
No,
what the fuck are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You can't even make.
yeah, bro.
Man, he just looked like a big fat fucking piece of shit. Like he's gonna go to Bellator and he's gonna fight 205 or something. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
And he's
tell
small
me how
too.
you really feel.
Yeah, he's small, man. He's small, man. Like he's not that tall,
No,
even for a 185er.
yeah. Think about some of those dudes.
Man, this fucking. Imagine him fighting like fuck 185. There's some big motherfucker like Yoel Romero's or
Jacare,
something like
Will
that. Yeah.
Romero, yeah, any of those dudes.
Oh, dude. Yeah, and Johnny. He's one of the most disappointing fighters, man, in the
He
last few
really
years.
is. After he lost his title, man, he really became disappointing.
BJ Penn, another
Stop.
stop, stop.
Just stop, man. Like, like, yo, he's a ledge. I've looked up to him for so long, man. It's just like his legacy's cemented, bro. You don't have anything else you need to prove. Go surf and hang out and do jujitsu and like make money.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's paid like a motherfucker too, man.
He's gotta be paid. I'm sure he's got all kinds of like. He's probably got still a gym, and he's probably got all kinds of businesses and stuff like that. Like, man, you're set. Like, go do seminars and do jujitsu and go train with the guys and stuff if you want, but and stop fighting. Like, don't put yourself through it. Again, my opinion, but who am I?
Yeah, he's like I said about earlier about Vanderlei and like Fedor. BJ Penn's
Yeah,
the same thing.
Yeah, all those guys, they've done all they need to do.
But I don't know why he keeps saying. I think to be honest with you, BJ in an interview before this fight, he was saying that one of his friends came up and told him like, hey, after he lost to Yair Rodriguez, he's like, hey,
Yeah.
you should you gotta continue fighting. You gotta fight again. I was like, man, who the fuck are his friends, man? I don't know, but he was saying that his friend came up to him and told him like, you gotta keep going and fight again. It's like, does he benefit financially from fucking BJ Penn fighting again? Because I would think so if he's telling BJ Penn to fight again, because that's fucked
Yeah,
up.
like if I had a friend like that, I'd just be like, man, like you don't need to fight, bro. Like keep doing your thing and like especially him, he's living in Hawaii and like just go surf and do jujitsu and
He could do
whatever.
seminars until he dies.
Yeah.
He could
Everyone's
go.
paying that guy money.
He could go work for What FC.
Yeah.
He could be vice president shit. Join fucking Rich Franklin.
Yeah.
You know. But did you see BJ Penn? He was wearing his shorts inside out.
No, I didn't catch that actually.
Dude. Look at the fight. He's wearing his shorts inside out without the Reebok. He's wearing Reebok shorts, but they're
Right.
inside out, so you can't see the logo or nothing. I wonder why that was happening. I wonder why that was going
Does he still have like is he still like maybe under contract with like Ruka or
Oh, he's under contract. He has major sponsorship deals with Ruka
yeah,
and a couple other companies. So
maybe that's why. So maybe the little slap on the wrist he's going to get fined is not going to really matter.
but then he's just wearing the shorts inside out, so it doesn't. I don't think that really matters, does it?
Yeah, I don't.
Because he's getting paid by Reebok anyways.
Yeah, but I'm sure like if he put the shorts inside out, then maybe they'll say something. I don't know, but I don't think BJ really cares.
Yeah, I think BJ, he's the kind of dude that's like, fuck. It's not like he keeps like the UFC on a pedestal. He's just like,
Right.
BJ is about BJ, so he's just like, fuck, like you guys fuck me, I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna flip my shit inside out. But it's weird to see. It'll be interesting to see if any other fighter does that, like flip their shit inside out, because it's not like. Or do you think that they didn't have his shorts, so they gave him someone else's shorts with different name?
They had to have his shorts.
That's what I'm saying. It's like his fucking BJ Penn, right? So,
Well, it's the UFC, bro. Like when you go in there to corner someone or with the fighter to pick up their stuff, like everything's tried on like days in advance, so you know like what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So,
fuck, man, that's fucking weird. Yeah, BJ's. Shout out to BJ though, man. BJ's a legend, half Korean.
doing you, BJ.
I
didn't know that.
All my Korean folks, BJ.
Yeah, Haseo.
His mom's is Korean, so yes. I don't even think he knows Haseo. I think he just fucking.
Probably not. He's Hawaiian. He's chilling.
Shout out to the Hawaiian folks. Faka, bro. Like that's their favorite shit right there. Faka, bro. Which just means yeah, faka, bro. Right? Which means like, fuck, bro. That's all it means.
Thanks for that, John. I'll put that into my repertoire of slang.
Exactly. For real. Like if you see like any Hawaiian be like, faka, bro. The kind. Like that's another one. The kind. And you know what the kind is? It just means
what?
The kind, which means like, I don't know, something good, I think. I don't know. But I used to be around a lot of Samoan cats. And the Samoan cats, there were a lot of them from Hawaii. So you barely understand what the fuck they're saying because they're just speaking fucking like the Hawaiian style. Like, fuck. That's why when you hear BJ talk, he has it a little bit. You could hear it a little bit. And Max Holloway, you could hear it once in a while a little bit. But they change it up when they come out and speak. Because if they spoke the way that they spoke in Hawaii,
no one will understand
what the fuck they're talking about, man. Because I've been around those dudes. And yeah, it's fucking a different language. It's like Jamaican. Like Jamaicans are like, yeah, it's like right near the beach, man. Right, like that. Fuck that shit. And I was around a lot of Jamaicans too in Florida, and there's some dangerous people right there. For real.
Batty boy.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the past weekend, man, and some weird stuff going on. But now let's move on to. Oh, before we move on to this weekend stuff, right? I wanted to talk about what Felice Herring was saying after the did you see her post-fight interview about how
she's not pretty and all that stuff?
Yeah, and I think that's true though.
Yeah, I think so too, man. I think Felice Herring is like, she is a pretty girl. Like she's I'm not really into white girls, but she is pretty. She's good, but yeah, man, I think like in a promotion like that, like some people are gonna get built up more and stuff like that, and others aren't. And I would think that she'd be a girl that they would push.
Do you think that like women compared to men, right? It's different when you get promoted,
Yeah, I
you know,
think
by the
yeah.
promotion. And she makes a valid point because she's been around for a while. If you know about her, she has been around for a while. And a lot of these new girls that are coming in and being promoted by the UFC, there's kind of like, yeah, there's some favoritism because they look a certain way or they
Right.
attract a certain crowd, right? And but at the end of the day, if you win, you win, man.
Right. You win, and at that time, that's like a time you got to take for yourself. Like if you're winning fights and big fights, like you need to make it known
Yeah,
because people like when people talk, whether it's they don't like to hear you talk or whether they like to hear you talk, they're still, listening.
for real.
So
Because to be honest with you, Joanna, right, Jędrzejczyk or whatever,
yeah,
she's not she's not the best looking girl, man. But she goes out there and
does her
she,
thing, and
yeah,
she's vocal.
exactly. And I think Felice Herring, she needs to stop fucking thinking about being young and being fucking beautiful is gonna help you, and just focus on fighting and beating these,
The
beating these
girls that they put in
bitches.
front
No
of.
offense, beating these bitches up and taking the belt. That's what she should be focused on. And then you're gonna get your shit, right? Even if you don't even win the belt, just getting up to the title fight.
Yeah, people are gonna know your name.
Exactly. So I don't think she should be tripping so much because why? She has been winning. She has been beating all the girls, right? Now
Yeah.
she's just got to start finishing them and then moving up and to the title. I think they're gonna give her a big fight next because she beat. I think she's on like a 3 or 4 fight winning streak right now. So
Yeah,
they're gonna give her somebody like Claudia Gadelia or something like that. But I think once she gets up to that point,
just get knocked back
yeah,
down.
she's gonna get chopped up. Like fucking, she's gonna get chopped up like fucking like filet mignon and shit, right? Like that dude with the fucking, he's doing that little thing with the salt and shit. Yeah, he's doing that thing. He's like slicing up the meat. Yeah, that's what's
That
gonna happen
greedy.
to her. Just me being honest with comparing their skills to her, but she is getting better, and you can't knock her for that. But yeah, it is what it is, man. She's gonna get smashed by those top girls. Because, man, to me, the only person that has a chance to beat Joanna is Claudia Gadelia, man.
Yeah.
Do you think that Rose Namajunas has a chance?
No.
Me either. I think no, Rose Namajunas goes in there and gets knocked the fuck out. Like
Good
terribly.
possibility.
Yeah, terribly. I believe this.
I would I would agree with that.
Claudia, hopefully she gets her fight in the next year or so, but who knows, man, if that's going to actually happen. Now, this weekend, going back to MMA in Asia or Asian MMA.
Bangkok,
Yeah.
Bangkok, Thailand.
Yeah,
Kumite.
let's start with Bangkok Full Metal Dojo, right? 14
Yep.
is going down. Now, do you have any insider information about Full Metal Dojo? Because you were saying that some injuries happened, but it seems like that guy that you were talking about that was not going to fight, he is still fighting.
Who?
According to the promotion and like let me put this up for you real fast. Yes, I'm gonna put up the card for you to look at, and this is the card right here. And look at the bottom. Main event. Joe Ray versus
Yes.
Marcelo Tenario,
Yeah.
the Latino.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess this is still going to happen.
Yeah, that's happening.
Okay, correct. So if you look at here, can you break down some of these fights, man? Do you know these guys? Other
Yeah.
than,
So Joe Ray is one of my guys. I look to see him beating this guy. Tanong Select, the co-main event, is one of my guys.
Mhm.
He was supposed to fight someone from Guam, I believe, who was going to be a good matchup for him. He did win that, or that got pulled out. So he's fighting a Cambodian guy, which I think that he will win. I don't know anything about the next one. Let me see.
Hey, this is a dope ass fight right here. two
Who?
dope ass names. You got Top Noi, which is your guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
versus Soda Fat, dude. That's a dope ass fucking name. What the fuck,
Soda
Soda Fat?
Fat. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything. Actually, tonight I have to watch some footage on Soda Fat.
Shit, Soda Fat, man. Like, where do you fucking even find a name like that?
I don't know. I think Soda is a name that some Thais have the name Soda that I've heard of before.
Oh, for
So
real? Yeah, that
yeah.
just because of the name, and I don't know nothing about this guy from because Cambodian Top Team is the guy that runs Cambodian Top Team. What's his name? You know him,
Uh,
right?
Chan Reach.
Yeah, the guy. He's from the States, but he's in Cambodia.
Yeah, I think Chan Reach.
Yeah, Chan Reach, right? So we'll probably have Chan Reach. I'm trying to contact him and try to have him on the podcast
Yeah,
eventually
we can
because
do that.
he's in Cambodia doing his thing, like doing big things out there, right? Building a team and shit.
Yeah.
So, well, you got this guy like Little Frog.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Little Frog.
Oh, it's a woman named Little Frog versus the Lang Lang. Yeah, these are like
Yeah.
just up and
Hey, shout
coming.
outs to Master Tong though on the next one. You know Master Tong, I can't
Oh
wait
yeah,
to get a spot with him. Master Tong, Uriah Faber's old Muay Thai coach.
he's fighting.
No. It's that guy. I
Oh.
just saw it. I didn't even know. That guy is from his gym.
Yeah. He's from right here.
Yeah, Master
This guy.
Tong. So Shannon and Rika are back training with us now. But they train with Master Tong some while they're in Bangkok.
Yeah, Shannon and Rika, they're gonna go both fight in Macau,
Yeah.
right?
So they're back both in camp here at Tiger. We actually had Channel 9 News cutting around Tiger all day yesterday. So shout
Damn,
outs to Channel 9.
Rika doing big things out there, huh?
Superstar, old tiny doll.
For real. Like,
Um,
but yeah, Master Tong, man, shout out to for real, Master Tong. Like he's
yeah.
doing this thing out in back in Bangkok with building his team now, right?
Yeah, I think Surapun might be the guy. What is that? Lightweight? Yeah. I think that's the guy. The guy that Master Tong guy's fighting is I think Surapun. I think Big Top from my team beat him before in Khao, but I'm not positive.
Oh, at Thailand Fighting Championship.
Yeah, I think that guy's more of a straight Thai fighter.
Okay. Yeah, there's
Hey,
a yeah.
isn't Javier Trujillo? Isn't that the guy that pieced Old Mate up the last fight?
Yeah. He just on the podcast, the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, before you guys
He's the
go
one
and
that
before you guys
he's the
go,
one that
yeah,
knocked out Old Mate, right?
yeah, like 1 second, like
Yeah, it
knockout.
was great.
Yeah, he's fighting. So he's fighting some dude from India who is 1-0,
Yeah.
Gokul Kesavan or whatever, right?
I
So
don't know nothing about
there's
him.
a couple fighters. Yeah, there's guys from India. You know, mostly a
Japan.
lot from the UK. Yeah, from man, there's a lot of fucking diversity
Shout
here,
out
but
to Full
most
Metal Dojo
yeah, Full
and
Metal Dojo, man. Shout out to John Nutt, you know. Shout out to all those guys, even the guys behind the scenes, you know, because there's a couple
Big
guys
Reed.
that are not in the front, but they're in the back, but they're still as important, right? And shout out to those guys too. And it's gonna be crazy because you guys gonna have, you know, John Nutt. Of course, John Nutt's gonna be, you know, wild, but you got T.J. Miller, you got Mayhem Miller, you got
All the Millers.
who's that other commentator? Robinson.
I'm not sure, bro.
Fuck, what was his name?
I don't
Something
know, but
Robinson. They call him
the
the
guy that
Vanilla Gorilla or something like that, right?
I
And you
heard
got
something about that.
yeah. And then there's Mark Abbott too, who's the other announcer that
Yeah,
speaks Thai
yo,
very
that dude,
well.
he is off the chain.
Yeah, he got skills on the mic
He
for
does
real.
have skills. I envy his Thai because
For
it is
real.
like I think it's better than like normal people's Thai.
I know that's what I'm saying. So yeah, Full Metal Dojo is gonna be crazy. Joe Ray, he's gonna fight, and this time he will get paid, right?
Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure he's
So Battleground, if you're listening, Annie
yeah.
up.
Yeah, no, Battlefield.
Battlefield, sorry.
Battlefield, yeah.
Excuse me,
I don't
Battleground, Battlefield.
remember I told you before, man, when you guys asked me a long time ago, do you think those guys will ever pay any of these guys?
Hell no.
I forgot I think was I talking to you or was I talking to your boy? Because your boy is the managers for some of the fighters that
Yeah,
are
Danny,
fighting
my
on there.
boy. He's my
Yeah,
manager,
I
yeah.
think he was asking me, and I told him No, like I just,
Bro, it was
it's
such a
hard for me to say
scheme. Like
that.
I've never seen these guys like people as so like proud and talk about I'm the businessman, I'm this, I'm that. And everyone just cutting around with Gucci bags and Hermes belts and all kinds of crazy
The
shit. And
sunglasses inside, sunglasses
yes,
indoors and
is
shit.
inside it. And the first one talking about, oh yeah, he works, but I'm the boss. I have business. Ain't nobody got paid.
That was like 10 different people's like, he works. I'm the boss.
Yeah,
And then
people
the
just
next guy
like I
goes,
got one. Yeah, one guy like gave me his business card and was like, "Hey, you know this and this and that. I come to Phuket," and I was just like, "All right, man, cheers." Yeah, full of shit.
yeah, usually when you talk too much, you're full of more shit. So
Yep.
it is what it is, man. So yeah, a lot of people are predicting that this main event, man, is gonna be a fucking brawl. A lot of people,
On,
that's what they believe.
on
And
what?
huh?
For what main event?
This main event, Full Metal Dojo,
Oh, for
because
Joe.
Marcel is just gonna go out there and just throw haymakers, and
He
Joe Ray
will
is
for
gonna
a
just be
bit.
like, all right. And Joe, to me, like my analysis, like, because you're his coach, so I'm gonna give my analysis of what is gonna happen. Is I think Marcel is gonna go out there. He's gonna like he'll have a game plan, but most likely that game plan will go out the window once he gets hit, and he'll
Yeah,
start to want to trade. And
yeah,
he's gonna throw kicks. He's gonna throw like haymakers, punches, whatever, right? But I believe Joe Ray is probably a little bit faster. And if he
yeah.
stays away from those power shots, because if he gets caught, that's not going to be good for him. But I think he's
No,
fast enough to stay away from the power shots and then piece him up, with combinations, and then
yeah.
maybe even take it to the ground. Because in that cage, in the Full Metal Dojo cage, it's
It's a small
smaller.
cage.
And if you could get that shit to the ground and be able to control on the ground, it could be a quick night, right, for somebody. So yeah, there's some interesting fights. I'll be watching it on Facebook for sure because I love watching even like these guys that you don't even never even heard of, man. Like they
They get
have cool,
scrapped though.
yeah. They just come in there and that cage makes them have to engage. It's
Yeah.
not like they could just be there and just stand around and like run around the
All
cage.
the Cambodians, yeah, even all the Cambodians, like those dudes have a lot of Kimmer fights. Like they can throw down, so it'll be a good night of fights.
Yeah, so you will be there. So if anybody listening is gonna be at Full Metal Dojo, go up to George and be like, George, Kumite radio, bitches, right? Go up to him, tell him, like, I
Check
listen
it
to that
out.
shit. So he knows, like, somebody's actually listening to us.
Please let me know if you are there.
Go up to him, man. He'll, he'll buy you a water or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll
Whatever.
give you a handshake.
Yeah. He'll take a picture or something. Usually he don't want to take pictures, but he'll give you a picture or something. Who knows? But anyways, yeah, that's on Friday. So a busy weekend in Southeast Asia. Friday, no, that's on Saturday. The day
Yeah,
before on Friday, you have one championship in what is it, Yangon, Myanmar,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now this card is not the best card, right? This
No,
card is not the best card for one championship because recently they announced some cards for, they announced Macau, they
yeah,
announced Indonesia, which is actually going to be a pretty sick ass main event over there. Where we're still
yep.
waiting on the other fights, but Macau is going to be pretty sick. But this card, I went back and watched the first fight that they had in the Big Dash, Vitaly Big Dash, right? I think he trains at a Phuket top team. I'm not.
Yeah,
Am I right? Yeah.
yeah.
And
I'm
then
pretty
you
sure.
got damn, this guy's name, man. Fuck, Lasang. What is it?
He trains in the states with one of
Yeah.
my boys, Jamal, from like Lloyd Irvin's gym and stuff, or maybe he teaches Muay Thai at a couple gyms. But yeah, man, that kid's good,
Yeah, he's
and he's
good
like he's carrying Burma on his back. Like Myanmar people were crazy for him.
for real. And when I went back and looked at their last fight, right? Because the Burmese dude, the Burmese Python, he has fought better competition than Big Dash has.
Yeah.
'Cause he's fought. Let's look at some of the guys he's fought, right? I'm going to show you. Because if you look at him, compare him to Big Dash, let's show you his. Here we go. Dude, one name will stick out. Uriah Hall. He's fought Uriah Hall. He's
Yep.
fought Costas Philippou.
Yep. I saw another one up a little bit further.
Who else?
No, not who I was thinking of.
You know, he's fought Muhammad Ali, dude.
Yeah.
The greatest ever. He's fought him. No, I'm fucking around. No, it's another Muhammad Ali. But yeah, he has a pretty good record in one championship though. He's
Yeah, he does.
1, 2, 3, 4. He's 4-1. His only loss is to Vitaly Big Dash, which was his last fight, which was a fight that he took on short notice, and he lost by unanimous decision. Now, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I went back and watched their fight, and I'm gonna tell you what I believe is going to happen. I believe that the Burmese Python, he has a full camp now. He's gonna be ready. You know, he has his whole, Miramar on his back. He has everything set up for him to win this fight. Everything, man. He is in his country. He has like the promotions all for him, basically. It's not even not much for the champ, right? It's just more for him.
Yeah.
Like he's the national hero and all this bullshit. Not bullshit, but all this shit, right? If you go back and watch their fight, this is how Big Dash is going to win this fight. Same way. What's going to happen is he's going to press him against the cage and beat him with dirty boxing. If he does that and gets him to the ground and grounds and pounds him, he's going to win this fight easy. But if the other dude keeps his distance and uses his striking, he will win. That's the way I look at this fight. And I'm predicting Big Dash wins.
I'm going to predict the Burmese Python, otherwise now known as the Myanmar Python. I believe he's going to win.
You do?
Yeah.
I think that
I want him to win. I don't say that I'm going to think that he's going to win. I want him to win.
You want him to win? I think that the judges, if he goes to the judges, he'll win. If you know what I mean. And yeah, that's what I think.
We might see a whole new Burmese Python.
You never know, right? He might come out looking like fucking Flex Wheeler.
Flex Wheeler.
You know, that's just some bodybuilding, inside joke, bodybuilding and shit, right? But anyways, yeah, he has everything in his favor. You know, Big Dash, he's undefeated. He's been knocked down, come back to win. So, it's not like he's never been in danger.
Right.
I don't know, man. To be honest with you, this is the only fight really worth watching on this card. If you are a fan, this is the only fight.
The other one, man, there's just a lot of other guys, like local guys that no one knows who they are. So
yeah, so if you're into MMA, like full blast, and you want to see local guys fight, of course, you can watch it from the beginning.
Oh, I'm sure they'll come to scrap too. A lot of them are Lithuania fighters, so I'm sure that they're down to scrap.
All right, then you got in the co-main event, you have Jenny Wong, who just lost to what's her name? Angela Lee for the title against Mei Yamaguchi. I think Mei Yamaguchi is going to tear that ass up, eat that ass for dinner.
I think so too.
Literally. Jenny Wong I don't think she can hang with Mei Yamaguchi. Mei Yamaguchi's too experienced. She has an all-around game. Jenny Wong, she had that fucking, what was it? The Gogo Plata finish, but I think she finished some girl that never even fucking grappled in her life.
Yeah.
Basically, because if you grappled, you don't. What do you think?
I agree with you on that one. It's Yamaguchi.
Yeah. Also on the card is Poochie. Your boy Poochie. You want me to show you who he's fighting? Oh, he's fighting Jimmy Yabo. You know Jimmy Yabo?
The Filipino guy?
Yeah, the Filipino guy that knocked out the Pakistani guy. What's his name? The Pakistani guy?
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember.
Yeah, he's pretty famous, right? The Pakistani dude is pretty good too. And
Yeah.
oh, his name is Bashir Ahmad.
Yeah, Bashir.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he had this whole, like, he's a pioneer in Pakistani MMA, right?
I watched a documentary on him. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he knocked him out in 21 seconds. So Jimmy Yabo, he has some
He
hands.
got some pop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has some pop, but the thing is, that's the last time he won. He's lost his last 2 fights. Both times one time he
Submitted.
was submitted by Benedict Ang, which Benedict Ang he's all right. And another time he got knocked out by a Chinese dude. So now he's on a 2-fight losing streak. And Poochie, let's look at Poochie. Poochie he just lost by knockout in 8 seconds. It was that 8-second knockout from 2016 that you remember Matt was talking about, where his coach was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna just rush in," and then he got knocked out.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, so Poochie.
Well, man, that's not a lot of time to see anything. Like, you get called. Hey, listen, I got knocked out in 7 seconds one time, literally by one punch. So you know what? I fought the guy again and I smashed him. So you can't tell anything by 8 seconds, man.
Well, I think that what Matt was trying to say is that his coach was saying some stupid shit.
Yeah, no. I agree. Like, if his coach was saying something dumb, that sounds stupid. But I'm just saying, like, for him and his defense, like, yeah, it looks shitty, but you know what? He probably has a lot more to offer, and obviously we know how good he is on the ground. So
yeah, but I predict Jimmy Yabo, he's gonna knock him out.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna like get him to the ground.
I haven't really seen either one of them fight, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I think Poochie, he's not gonna get him to the ground, so Yabo's gonna just throw some hands on him, and it's just gonna be over probably in a couple, maybe the first or second round. That's just a prediction. And the last fight that is actually worth talking about is the Korean homie who got signed by ONE FC. He actually is from where the Burmese Python is from, on the East Coast of the United States, Kevin Chung. And he's undefeated. He got signed, and now he's going to face a Chinese dude with no record. But the funny thing about Chinese dudes with no record, that might not be true.
It's not true. It's just like in Russia, bro.
Yeah, like they might have had 30 fights.
Right.
But when they come out into like a promotion that's outside of China, they have no record. They're like, oh, it's a debut. So it's hard to like analyze a Chinese fighter, or like you said, a Russian fighter that's only fought in Russia, or a Chinese fighter that's only fought in China. We don't know their real record. We don't know their real experience. But Kevin Chung, he's a guy who's pretty slick on the ground. His stand-up, I'm not for sure. He doesn't really have any knockouts. He mostly has submissions and like unanimous decisions. So, but I think he will win. I think that he's good enough all around. But who knows, man? Who knows? Like, this Chinese dude, we don't know who the fuck he is, man. And then the rest of the what is it? The rest of the card is filled with what is it?
Burmese scrappers.
Yeah, Burmese scrappers. And the best guy's record is 3-0. The rest of them are like, they're all debuting basically, or they have one loss.
Hey, so it could be entertaining for the fans, because some of the past one cards that have been Burma or Myanmar, they've had dudes headbutting. So check it out.
For real. Oh shit.
Because they forget, they get in there, they've been doing that their whole life, and they forget, and then they just headbutt the guy.
For real. So yeah. But I don't know, man. It could be good. It could not be good. This is a toss-up right here. So next week we'll probably end up talking about it a little bit more after the results come out and see what happens, right? Also on Friday, same night, but actually Saturday over here, will be Pro Fight League, the first event, which will have John Fitch versus Brian Foster in the main event. But I don't think it's for the title, but it's weird because John Fitch is the champion, but it's not for the title. So now tell me something about Pro Fight League, because I know you have some guys that fight for Pro Fight League, which was the World Series of Fighting, right? Tell me some things that you've heard about the Pro Fight League. Like,
I really haven't heard anything. Like we have Jake Hune,
yeah.
who's fights for them, but I haven't really heard like any details about like salaries or fighting or any of that stuff. So I honestly have no idea.
Oh, for real? So
Yeah,
everything's unclear, even though they're having their first event?
I would like to think so. Yes.
Oh, that sucks, man. The reason why that sucks is because they came out a long time ago talking, not a long time ago, a few months ago, talking about what they
Oh
had, their
yeah,
plans are. And
I
now,
read all that stuff, but
yeah.
like I haven't I haven't heard any updates. You know, I haven't really asked Jake or anybody, but I would assume like if something big came out, I would have heard about it, and I haven't. You know, I haven't spoke to him about it. So
Fuck. Has he been contacted to fight or anything like that?
not yet. No.
Well, that sucks for him because he hasn't fought in a while, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
New Year's
So,
Eve.
oh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Pro Fight League is gonna happen. Just wanted to let people know that that is popping off. And the last thing is on Sunday, also on UFC Fight Pass, Pancrase 288 is going to happen. They have the welterweight King of Pancrase in the main event. And the crazy thing about it is the guy, the challenger, his name is Daiji Abe. He's only 3-0.
Yeah.
But they must believe, because I kind of believe in Pancrase, right? Like they usually put on good fights. So they must believe that this guy can beat the champion, which is Hiromitsu Miura. And he just won the title from the previous King of Pancrase. But I don't know. That's kind of a weird matchup. Like you said, in Japan, they have some weird things popping off. So
Yeah.
this one is going to be worth watching because maybe this guy maybe can beat him. I don't know. But other fights on this card, you got some former UFC guys like Ishii Tamura is fighting. Um, what is it? Kazuki Tokudum, he's fighting too. They're all former UFC guys. And Minowa Man, the guy that wears the red panties,
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
Japanese
yeah.
dude. Yeah, he's fighting on there too. In a middleweight fight. Dang, that dude has more than 100 fights.
That's insane.
His total fight is more than 110 fights.
MMA?
Yeah,
That could be like the world record, right?
it could be. I don't know, but the guy he's
Oh,
fighting.
yeah.
Check this out. The guy he's fighting, he has 105 fights.
That's insane.
Yuki Kondo. I
That
think
is
it's a
so
rematch.
insane.
That is fucking crazy. But then there's this girl fighting on here. Her name is Kanako Murata. She's a Japanese wrestler, and she's 4-1.
Wow.
Flyweight. No, not flyweight. Strawweight against this girl from Australia, Claire Fryer. But this Kanako Murata. I think she's fought in Ryzen also. Let me check. Yeah, she fought in Ryzen. She actually fought in Ryzen and lost to Rin Nakai.
Yeah,
I
when
think
was
you were
that?
there.
December? Yeah, I think December.
Yeah, I think you were there for that one. But yeah, but she's pretty good. She's a wrestler. She's still learning, but her only loss is to Rin Nakai, and Rin Nakai is like one of the better girls out in Japan. So
Yeah.
yeah, that card, if you guys have time, it should be worthwhile. Um, George, do you have anything? Like
No, just check us out. Bangkok this weekend, Full Metal Dojo. We'll be posting stuff. Other than that, always good in Southeast Asia and Phuket, my friend.
what's your plans for the next couple weeks?
I got Full Metal Dojo coming up this weekend. Next weekend, I believe I'm not doing anything, probably relaxing. The following week, I go to the U.S. for the first time in 3.5 years, which I'm going with. Not excited to go, but I'm excited to go corner my girl, Mallory, who's one of our previous 2016 sponsor fighters. She won one of the tryout spots, so she's fighting in Invicta. So I'm pumped for her. So I'll be there, and then come back, and I
Where
think
is she fighting at? Where in the
I
state?
think in Missouri.
Okay, so right in the
I
middle.
believe I think it's in Kansas City.
Isn't there 2 Kansas Cities?
Yeah, I think there is, but I think it's in Missouri.
All right. Oh, but I heard that they have some good food out there, so you might be able to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I'll be getting some good food, and my manager Danny will be there, so I'm about to make him pay.
Oh, for sure. What
So
else? What
nah,
else you have
it's
after that?
uh nothing set in stone, man. I think I'm going to Macau. I don't even know what month or what event. I just had one of the fighters. Like I had to send my passport to him, so I'll know more about that soon. But man, we got a lot of guys like
Oh, for the one
training, and
championship
no, I don't think not for one, for a different one. I
in
don't even know
Macau.
what for. Yeah, I don't know what promotion. I'll find out for you though, Guru.
Are you gonna be no, we'll talk about that off the air.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's some things we only could talk about off the air. Some things we could talk about on the air, right? But
that's true. Yeah.
anything else you want to drop? Drop some knowledge. You know,
No,
I
I
was
think
I
that's
was
it.
gonna try to do this thing called at the end of every show. It was gonna be called George's Picks. But I don't know. Like I think we did our picks already.
Yeah,
So like usually like maybe if we have like a UFC or a Bellator or something like that coming up, I think that's
yeah. I think for those we can check out George's pick. So
yeah. So we'll do. I think that's gonna be the next thing that we're gonna add to the show is George's picks, and then me just talking shit about his picks because I'm gonna remember his picks the week after and just talk shit to you
no worries.
because that's how terrible of a person I am. Um,
Yeah, but I think my picks will be pretty good.
no, your picks are not that
Yeah,
good.
my picks were not good last week. That is for sure.
Yeah, they were good, but also my picks were very good either. So, yeah, it all shit happens, man. We're not professional gamblers,
Yeah.
So luckily we're not professional
And
gamblers.
sometimes I'm not gambling, so like I don't know. Sometimes I pick just because I want the person to win, even though they're probably not going to win.
Yeah, me too. Sometimes I pick fighters that I just think they're underdogs, so I just like fucking just take a wild
Yeah,
chance and just say, hey, this is the way they could win, so let's just pick them.
that's right.
Pick them and fucking if I lose, I'm not betting money. I'm not a gambler, so
Right,
it's not like I'm risking my fucking house and home and shit for
right.
that. So, um, also what we got on the pipeline, I think for Kumite Radio in the next couple episodes, is we're gonna have probably the Suman. Is it Suman? Suman, is that how you say it?
Yeah, I say Suman,
Yeah, Suman Mokhtarian, and hopefully
but I
I'm
could be
gonna try.
saying it wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to try to get his brother, who is a UFC flyweight, right? Ashkan Mokhtarian, try to get him on the
Yeah,
podcast. I think we're gonna have JJ Ambrose on the podcast soon, who was recently signed to Bellator, who fights out of Guam, who's the PXC lightweight champion, who just recently fought in Australia. Also, we're gonna have what I hopefully, if it works out, we're gonna have Charles Bennett on the podcast in the next couple of weeks, who is AKA Felony. You guys probably know him because he has a lot of beef with Vanderlei Silva. There's that video that you've probably seen of him getting choked out by Marcelo Garcia, and then he says that he left and knocked out Vanderlei Silva. We're gonna talk. If I could get him on the podcast, that we're gonna talk about all of that stuff. So that's in the pipeline. I think maybe Mallory Martin might come on the podcast before her fight in Invicta. I don't know for sure. We're still working on that one. Yeah, we're like the podcast. We're just still working on getting the guests, getting not just. Oh yeah, also I'm gonna have Andy Wang on the podcast. He's gonna talk about Chinese MMA. I think he's gonna fight soon. He hasn't fought in like I think 4 years or 3 years since the last time he fought was in ONE FC 1. That's
wow.
when he fought last. And he's going to fight, I think, again at Rebel FC, the next one. Did you know Rebel FC is having another event?
I saw they're coming back.
Yeah, so he's going to fight at that. He's been going around China doing press press conferences. And yeah, I'm gonna have him on the podcast. Come on, talk about the good and bad, because he's been out in China for like a gang of years. So
He's been out there for a grip.
he knows a lot of stuff about China, the ins and outs, and yeah, he's gonna give us some good stories, I think, of the experiences that people had. So yeah, I'm gonna have him, and we're just still working on getting more guests, getting better guests. It's not always about getting the biggest fighters. It's not always about getting the best fighters or the top fighters or whatever. It's about getting fighters that have a good story, that can give you information about, you know, certain parts of Asia or certain parts of the world. And that's what
We
I
got
want.
some banter and some chat.
Exactly. Like last time we had, you know, Matt, and he gave us some good banter. He gave, you know, us his girlfriend's legs in the background, you know, shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that too.
Exactly. So we'll have Matt on the podcast again eventually, because he, you know, he gives good insight. He has good stories too. And what else? Yeah. So always improving. Don't forget to go on iTunes, subscribe,
Stitcher, podcast app.
exactly,
YouTube,
anything,
everywhere.
any format. Follow us on SoundCloud, like the videos, or like the what is it, the files or whatever. You know, just show us the support, because we do this for free. You know, it's not like we're getting paid $1 million to do this. We do this for free. So just show us some love, or show us some hate. It doesn't matter, man.
As long as you know something.
Exactly. So yeah, we're working on trying to get as much people on this podcast as possible. Also, I'm gonna try to get this guy. His name is Michael Lee. He actually was part of Korean Top Team. I think he's still part of Korean Top Team, and he recently opened a gym or something like that. But he has a lot of insight about Korean MMA, because he's been out here, but he's from the States, so he's gonna kind of give that angle of, like, you know, being a foreign, kind of like a Korean, but you're a foreigner and you're training in Korea. It's a different situation. It's not like what you would think, you know, like you just go train and stuff like that. It's different. So I'm gonna have him on the podcast soon. So yeah, that's about it. All right, George, it was a good one, man. It was good, some good insight, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Boom. West Side.